Around 1900, Frederick Winslow Taylor is thought of as the beginning of management thinking. He wrote, "The best management is a true science, resting upon clearly defined laws, rules and principles." And he suggested that the labourer should work according to a process analysed and designed by management for optimum efficiency, allowing him to do as much as humanly possible within a specific time period. They called this the one best way. Then the publication in 1911 of Taylor's Principles of Scientific Management set off a century-long quest for that right balance between the numbers people and the people people. This is the key tension that has defined management thinking ever since. Starting in the mid-20s began a groundbreaking set of experiments which changed the way people thought about management. The studies ran in Western Electric's Hawthorne plant, and many commentators say it was easily the most important social science research ever done in industry. Working with a set of young women assembling parts in a test room, they discovered that neither changes in physical conditions, better illumination, nor in work schedules, more rest breaks, nor even in incentive systems could fully explain why productivity steadily improved. After years of experiments, it began to dawn on Australian psychologist Elton Mayo that at least two factors were driving the results. First, the women had forged themselves into a group, and the group dynamics of members encouraging one another were having a big impact on the output. Secondly, the women had been consulted by the researchers at every step of the way. The basic insight was that workers were not robots to be measured with a stopwatch, which is what Taylor had suggested, and that involving the workers in decisions changed the way that they worked. Then Peter Drucker arrived. Beginning with Concept of the Corporation, 1946, Peter Drucker laid out a vision of the corporation as a social network, out with the vocabulary and mindset of boss, foreman and worker, and in with manager and employee. If Drucker didn't invent the concept of management, he did more than anyone else to develop our thinking about running organisations. Adding to Drucker's work, Douglas McGregor drew on the work of Abraham Maslow, famous for the hierarchy of human needs, and created the famous Theory X. People are inherently lazy and will shirk from their duties if they aren't closely policed. And Theory Y. People want to find meaning in their work and will contribute in positive ways if the work is well designed. Then, in 1982, two McKinsey consultants, Tom Peters and Bob Waterman, published In Search of Excellence. The book brought organisational culture to the front, suggesting strategy was merely a counting exercise, and it's the human element that made companies successful. The book sold more than 6 million copies. And then in 2001, three McKinsey consultants published The War for Talent, reflecting the fact that corporate management had become worried that a lack of skilled employees would limit the company's growth. For over 30 years, through to present day, the two strains of thought coexist in uneasy tension. That is the numbers-driven push for greater profitability versus the cry for more respect for the humanity of production. And innovation seems to have moved into a front seat in the management debate. Both humanists and numbers people recognise its critical company-saving importance. So possibly the biggest management challenge facing today's organisations is to be finding ways to free that spark of innovation from the organisation's momentum towards doing the same old things.